Batman is, for some people, one of the best superheroes of all time, myself included. Whether you agree with this or not, you have to admit that his mere influence for the genre, and even outside the genre, is outstanding. On the flip side of that, however, there are people that understandably find him overrated or just dislike the character, which is completely fair as well. Before I tell you what this video is about, this video is not to be entitled towards one side or say how another viewpoint is wrong, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Instead, this video is to highlight and explain the general reasonings for those viewpoints, and I'll give some of my personal insight on those as well. Batman has had a lot of controversy over the years, and I wanted to make a video to go more in depth with these opinions, highlighting them and explaining why all of them are valid in their own way. I will be giving my own opinions on why I think Batman is a great superhero as well towards the end, so I apologize in advance for any bias, but like I said, I'll try to keep this at the end of the video. So, I hope you enjoy, and let's get it started.
My father, I am not a disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman!
There's a lot of characteristics about Batman that's always had heavy controversy among the community, one of which, is his famous no-killing rule. Now, Batman's no-killing rule has always had people on one side versus the other, and it creates a lot of discussion on whether it's a smart rule or a very stupid one. To put into context, Bruce has a no-killing rule because he believes that if he does, he will be no better than the criminals he takes down, and it'll also send him down a rabbit hole he can never come back from. I'm going to start off and talk about the side that does not agree with his no-killing rule, and why it's inefficient. His no-killing rule seemingly makes no sense to a lot of people that understand the character and the kind of threats that he faces, which does make for a compelling argument. I mean, Batman's no-killing rule comes from a moral standpoint, also acts as a line that should he cross, he'll become unstoppable. But at what point does it become absurd, or that he still follows it when people are dying every week to the same villains, it just becomes too blurry. He fights and takes down the Joker regularly, only for him to break out and do it all over again, killing more people, ruining more lives, and he keeps on going and going. It's just a never-ending game. It's completely understandable if Batman were to cross the line and kill the Joker. Even if that's what the Joker wants, it would still save a ton of lives. It's a thought that always is in Batman's mind, whether you should kill him or not.
Understood. What? What, your moral code just won't allow for that? It's too hard to cross that line? No! God Almighty, no! It'd be too damned easy. All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him.
But at some point, it could be deemed as selfish or foolish that he does not go through with this, knowing that when Joker breaks out, and he will break out, he will cause more chaos. The environment and the villains associate heavily with this. Taking another hero, for example, with the no-killing rule, such as the Flash. Flash doesn't kill, but his villains, such as the Rogues, usually have a no-kill rule themselves. And they're not nearly as scary as Gotham's villains. Even killing the Reverse Flash wouldn't necessarily work, as he's essentially a living paradox. Batman's universe, however, is full of serial killers, gangsters, people with no remorse for casualties, straight up psychopaths all around. Batman's no-killing rule is more destructive for himself and others because of the kinds of threats that he faces compared to someone like the Flash. Bruce's goal of stopping crime can be seen as heavily hindered due to this restriction that he puts on himself. There's this pretty famous quote that is associated heavily with Batman that reads, "If you kill a killer, the number of killers in the world stays the same." Which is a pretty foolish quote in my opinion, as you can kill more than one killer to disregard it. Overall though, the main consensus on the side is that his rule inadvertently gets more people killed, and it isn't suitable for the types of goals he's trying to achieve. There is, however, the flip side of the no-killing rule, which we'll get into right now.
Huh? You won't kill me out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness. And I won't kill you because you're just too much fun.
Many would say that Batman's no-killing rule is integral to his part of a character, and should he break it, it would ruin everything he stands for and make for a story deviating from who he is as a person. As previously stated, Batman's no-killing rule is there to keep himself on a line he can never cross, and should he do it, he'll be going down a rabbit hole he'll never come back from. This is kind of shown in the famous comic book line about the Batman who laughs. In this comic, Batman ends up killing the Joker, and Batman gets infected with a toxin that Joker exhaled just before his death. Long story short, Batman goes insane and ends up killing not only the Justice League, he goes on to slaughter so many others, and then eventually moves through the multiverse to become a huge threat. Now this example is more specific and extreme, I know, but still highlights the potential of an out-of-control Batman. The thought of the Abyss is terrifying for him. He knows what he's capable of. His resources, his knowledge, his combat, they all pose a huge threat to humanity should he allow it. Perhaps he thinks that no human should have that amount of power, but he does, and he's very careful about what he should and should not do. Batman also believes that he can cure his villains to an extent, making them functioning members of society again, as seen in media like the famous Batman the Animated Series. It also makes for very interesting, unique storytelling ideas as well. One of the most notable being the Red Hood storyline. Any Batman fan can tell you easily about the Under the Red Hood film. In this movie, Batman's code is challenged by his former sidekick Jason Todd, who he presumed was dead, but has come back to life and become a lethal vigilante known as Red Hood. This movie highlights the dilemma of Batman's code excellently, showing the consequences of the decisions he puts on himself. Overall, for this side, his no-killing rule prevents him from going past a line nobody should cross, and if he does, he becomes a bigger threat than you would think. Personally, I like this no-kill rule. It creates for interesting storytelling, and it makes sense when you see how much Bruce is actually capable of with his leash off, and it would make him way more dangerous than he needs to be. He's already insane to an extent, and that's what people don't kind of understand. Bruce is insane, and with no moral ground to hold on to, he could very well be every bit as dangerous as the Joker.
I've carefully studied every Justice Leaguer, past and present, and created contingency plans to neutralize you, should that ever become necessary.
You've got to be kidding me with that.
Neutralize, not kill.
Yes. We also gotta talk about prep time. One of the most basic bitch Batman counters one person could say. Now, I get it. Batman's a brilliant tactician, and with prep time, it's seemingly as if he can take down anyone if he wanted to. But you are missing one thing. He's human. He can make mistakes. It's not going to be 100% successful. Take this for example. There's a story called Wonder Woman to Hiketia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Where Batman did indeed have prep time against Wonder Woman and still lost. Pretty convincingly. I'm not here to shit on Batman a lot. Believe me, I don't like doing it. He is one of my favorite superheroes. But there's a point where you have to tell yourself that not even Batman with prep time can win against everything. Nobody can. It would definitely improve his chances, no doubt, but I don't think it would be for sure victory, no matter how you see it. That's all I wanted to say for that topic. The prep time is just prep time. It'll help him in a fight for sure, but it's not going to help him win against every fight like imaginable. He's not the only smart guy out there, and I just wanted to make that in the air. But take it as you will, and we'll just move on to the next topic.
A lie of omission is still a lie. You kept an important secret from us. No one in the League knew the truth.
I did.
I shouldn't be surprised, since you indoctrinated Robin into crime fighting at the ripe old age of 9.
Robin needed to help bring the men who murdered his family to justice.
So he could turn out like you?
So that he wouldn't.
Something else I feel that has a divided fan base is his reasonings of why he brings kids into his fights for justice. Or, the Robins. So for this segment, I'm only going to go over the first Robin, Dick Grayson, just to make this segment more coherent and not just to spew the same information I would with the other Robins. I know there's been a bunch, but I feel like it will just make my point come across clearer if I just talk about one Robin. In this case being the very first one, Dick Grayson. He was just a kid when his parents were killed during a circus act, falling from very high while doing a trick. They fell because a thug rigged the equipment to break. Bruce Wayne saw this, and then shortly after adopted Dick Grayson, who he eventually trains to become Robin. And he helps Grayson get the justice for his parents' death. Grayson then steps out of Batman's shadow to become his own person, Nightwing. There's always talk about if this was the right way of Bats going about things, if taking a kid and training them would be the right move. Now, there's a lot to it. Some people think it's weird that Batman takes kids under his wing to become fighters, but I think it goes beyond that. If you read the graphic novel, Batman Turning Points, Gordon is shocked about the fact that Batman is fighting with the kid, but later he understands how Batman, just like any other human, would want a family of his own. Batman brings in new Robins to help him in some shape or form. For Grayson, it was to help him get justice for his family. For someone like the second Robin, like Jason Todd, it was to help him to get off the street and not become a criminal. The reasonings do make sense, but it could be argued that it doesn't justify making a kid do extremely dangerous tasks daily, like fighting all these psychopaths in Gotham. It's a topic I feel like can go either way, and I don't feel like I have an answer myself for this. On one hand, it's to help give these kids purpose and to help build a family for both parties that they either lost or never had. But it can also potentially ruin the lives like it did for Jason. I'll let you guys discuss this one more. It's more of a blurry topic, I'd say. And I feel like any side of this conversation has their completely valid and understandable points.
I wasn't.
You were going to try and talk me into fixing what I've changed. Before I die.
Yes.
I'm dying very soon.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Could you stay with me? I'm scared.
I think overall, as to why people don't like Batman, can accumulate to a multitude of reasons, such as him being overrated, making essentially child soldiers, not killing or doing what is, necessary, and so on and so forth. And that's all completely valid. If you don't like him for these reasons, that's completely okay, and I respect your opinion. And I kind of agree to an extent. Batman is a heavily flawed character, and just like any other superhero, it will divide the opinion on him. I think, however, as a longtime comic fan and Batman enthusiast, if you will, there's a lot to the character for me that I really appreciate. For me, my favorite thing about him isn't the gadgets or his detective skills or his badass combat. It's always been his humanity. It's hard to see under his exterior, but his understanding and compassion for others is really highlighted and unmatched in my opinion. I personally love seeing instances of him helping young kids. He understands the tragedies they go through, and he does all he can to make them feel safe. Instead of going down a dark and depressing path with no light at the end of the tunnel, he turned his tragedy into a source for good. He may be a fictional character that obviously does not exist in real life, but the themes and messages the character represents are real and help and inspire people in real life to do better. And I think that's the most you can ask for from a comic book character.
You're safe now. I swear to you. You're safe.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If I missed or said something wrong, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to fix it. I really want a discussion on this, so please, if you have anything to say, no matter what it is, just leave a comment. Batman's a very interesting character to me, and I really love to hear all opinions on him. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like it and share it, as I spent a lot of time making it, and I would genuinely appreciate the support, truly. Leave a comment and subscribe as well. I'll keep trying to make more content like this for you guys, as I did enjoy making it myself. If you like gaming, be sure to check out some of the other videos on my channel as well. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.